Madhava. Jai Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Ballabha, Jai Girivardhari, Jai Girivardhari. Yasodanandana, Jai Braja Jararanjana, Jai Braja Jararanjana, Yasodanandana. Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jai Kunja Bihari. Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jai Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava. Gopi Jana Ballabha, Jai Girivardhari, Jai Girivardhari. Yasodanandana, Jai Braja Jararanjana, Jai Braja Jararanjana. Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jai Kunja Bihari. Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Jai Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Gauranitai. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo. Nitai Go Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Radha Gokulananda Radha, Kulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe. Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Shri Radhe. Jai Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman, Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman. Jaya Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman, Jaya Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman. Jai Guru Paramanande, Hari Bo. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Someone else was supposed to give a class and they dropped out. So a short notice I had yesterday. So we'll find out where we are here. So we carry on reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9. I believe it was text 15, isn't it? 15 on board. Who was supposed to give class today? Oh, it's it's not there anymore, so it's a surprise. All right, it's okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Actually, they booked me in a couple of weeks' time, and they asked me to give it today. He said, I can't think of anyone who can give a spontaneous class. Like, there's many devotees who could do that. So, this is, we carry on with the prayers of Brahmaji, Lord Brahma, for creative energy. Here is praying to Lord Vishnu to get empowered to create the cosmic manifestation, to create all of us. We are all children created by Lord Brahma, by the way. Aham bija pradapita. Prabhupada said somewhere in the Bhagavatam, there are 3 Pita. Who are they? Three of them. 3 of the gods who are our fathers. 4, actually. The 4th one is the biological one. Who are these 3 Pita? They're the only one? No. Spiritual master is, okay, he gives birth, spiritual. But one is the Lord Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. Yes, these are the 3 fathers. Lord Shiva also is actually the origin, the catalyst person behind the symbol. Why the Shiva Linga is worshipped? Because it's the union between Lord Shiva and Parvati. You see, the Lord, Prabhupada said something very interesting. The Lord, he doesn't engage in sex intercourse like we do. It's completely spiritual, the paramour between Radha and Krishna. But then to procreate all the living entities, to manifest them, actually, not to manifest them, it becomes, Balaram, and then Balaram, Lord Narayan, and then from the Narayana Chaturvyuha, from the first Chaturvyuha, all the Narayan, the spiritual worlds are manifested, and then a second Chaturvyuha takes care of give birth to all the Mahavishnu, the 3 Mahavishnu. And then Mahavishnu, one of them is Sadashiva. Sadashiva is the origin of Lord Shiva. And Sadashiva glands over Ramadevi, which is the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Sadashiva, it's Advaitacharya, is Mahavishnu. And then from Sadashiva and Parvati, they become, you could say, somewhat half a material, demigod. That's why they call them semi-god, almost God, but they're not fully God. Sadashiva becomes Lord Shiva, and Ramadevi becomes Parvati, and that's when the Shiva Linga, in the material cosmic manifestation, they are the father of the creation and the living entities. And then, of course, Lord Brahma here, his job is to create the Chatusloka, the 14 planetary system, only, not above those. Above those has been already taken care of Shiva. And then, the Chatusloka, it's actually Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki Jai. Where is to be found the Chatusloka? Let's see, little Bhagavatam context. Where is it situated, the Chatusloka? The 14 planets, where are they? Where they become created? Yes, that's the one, the stem of Lord Vishnu. He gives birth to lotus flower. And this universe is all in the stem, it's not in the air somewhere else, floating around. It's in the stem. That's why Lord Brahma comes up, he looks around, he sees nothing. And then he prays to the Lord, and he starts to, even goes down into the stem, there is nothing. And then he comes out, and on the lotus flower, he's the very first child of Lord Vishnu. He's the only one who has been born without any mother. Lord Brahma doesn't have a mother, like all of us. Lord Vishnu, it's actually mother and father for him. There is a name of Lord Brahma, that the one who is born without any mother. It's a phenomena. You never have a man that gives birth to a child, isn't it? It's impossible. Only God can do that. So then he prays, like he's praying, and then he gets the blessings of the Lord. His prayer is the tapasya, tapa, just those two words, for 1,000 years, celestial years, not our years. And then Lord Vishnu becomes manifest to him, and he prays to the Lord, wonderful prayers, because there is nothing else for him. It's like, when we are born, we see the mommy and daddy, we see the environment, the house, the toys, we see so many things. But Lord Brahma couldn't see anything. The only person he could see was this beautiful personality, Lord Vishnu, God. And he prays to this, because he's the source of his existence. He prays to Lord Vishnu, said, okay, so now you empower me and make me understand what to do, what is next. You have a purpose, so please tell me. And Lord, that's why Brahma prayers for creative energy. The Lord's empowers him to create. Anyway, I just wanted to give a little background, a simple background about this situation here. So we go into the verse. So this is text 15 with translation and purport. Yasyavatara guna karma vidambanani. That's the one is on the board, isn't it? Yeah. Yasyavatara guna karma vidambamnani. Sorry, I'm not very good in tune for this. Namani ye suvigame vivasa grinanti. Tenaika janma samalam sahasaiva hitva. Samyanti apavritam ritam tamajam prapadye. Gentlemen, if you have a better tune, go ahead. Any ladies, Matajis? Thank you very much. Yasya, whose avatara, incarnations, guna, transcendental qualities, karma, activities, vidambanani, all mysterious, namani, transcendental names, ye, those, asubhigame, while quitting his life, vivasha, automatically, grinanti, invoke, te, they, anaika, many, janma, births, samalam, accumulated sins, sahasa, immediately, eva, certainly, hitva, giving up, samyanti, obtain, apavrita, open, amritam, immortality, tam, him, ajam, the unborn, prapadye, I take shelter. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Let me take shelter of the lotus feet of Him whose incarnations, qualities, and activities are mysterious imitations of worldly affairs. One who invokes His transcendental names, even unconsciously, at the time he quits his life, is certainly washed immediately of the sins of many, many births and obtain Him without fail. Please repeat after me. Let me take shelter of those lotus feet of Him whose incarnations, qualities, and activities are mysterious imitations of worldly affairs. One who invokes His transcendental names, even unconsciously, at the time he quits this life, is certainly washed immediately of the sins of many, many births, and obtain him without fail. Purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The activities of the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are a kind of imitation of the activities going on in the material world. He is just like an actor on a stage. An actor imitates the activities of a king on stage, although actually he is not the king. Similarly, when the Lord incarnates, he imitates parts with which he has nothing to do. It's interesting. He imitates parts which he has nothing to do with it. So what does he do it? Actually, it's the other way around. We imitate the behavior of the Lord. But in any case, in Bhagavad Gita 4:14, it is said that the Lord has nothing to do with the activities in which he is supposedly engaged. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phalespriya. The Lord is omnipotent. Simply by his will, he can perform anything and everything. When the Lord appeared as Lord Krishna, he played the part of the son of Yashoda and Nanda, and he lifted the Govardhan hill, although lifting a hill is not his concern. He can lift millions of Govardhan hills by his simple desire. He does not need to lift it with his hands, but he imitates the ordinary living entity by this lifting, and at the same time he exhibits his supernatural power. Thus, his name is chanted as the lifter of Govardhan hill, O Sri Govardhanadari. Therefore, he acts in his incarnations, and his partiality to the devotees are all imitations only. Just like the stage makeup of an expert dramatical player, his acts in the capacity, however, are all omnipotent. And the remembrance of such activities of the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is as powerful as the Lord himself. Ajamil remembered the holy name of Lord Narayan by merely calling the name of his son Narayan, and that gave him a complete opportunity to achieve the highest perfection of life. End of purport. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Malitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadandikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhatta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangalam gayati girim. Yat kripatam ham vande shiguru dinatarinam. By the mercy of my spiritual master, a lame man can cross mountains. By his mercy, a blind man can see stars in the sky. And again, by his mercy, a dumb man like me can speak few words today on Srimad Bhagavatam. I offer my humble obeisances to my spiritual master and to Srila Prabhupada and to all the Acharya and to all the devotees and to Lord Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Tamala Krishna Goswamini Namane Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Vaskyata Desatarine Vanchakalpadruvascha Kripa Sindhuvya Vacha Paditanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. So, this is a very nice verse here. Forgive me, I didn't prepare much on this because it was short notice. But Srimad Bhagavatam, it's beautiful and it's full of surprise, glorification of the Lord and the devotees. It's all auspicious. There is no mistake that we can make when we read the Bhagavatam sincerely, whether we have the intelligence to comprehend the content, or whether we are new devotees, middle-class devotee, neophyte, madhyama, uttama. Bhagavatam sees no difference. Anyone who, it's like opening the window. When you open the window, you get fresh air, breath of fresh air, and you get life when you wake up in the morning. So Bhagavatam is like that. When you open up Bhagavatam, you get a breath of fresh air. Whether you are sick, new devotee, materialist with a material desire, whether you are healthy, whether you are fit, the oxygen, it goes in the lungs and gives life. It's the juice of life, spiritual life. So, if we sincerely open the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the energy of Krishna will be, you could say, not infesting, it's not the right word, but pregnating our consciousness, our heart. Just like when you inhale smoke, then you get a cancer and stuff. But when you inhale some perfume, you get nice fragrance. But when you inhale fresh air, it's very good for your health. That's what it is. Srimad Bhagavatam, it's a breath of fresh air. It's like, a glass of water, pure, not contaminated by anything else. And water, it's the purest amrit, juice of life. Water, it maintains us in our existence. So Srimad Bhagavatam, I had a glance yesterday which verse was, and then I went to sleep. Usually I do that. And then something gets cooked up by the next morning. And it's interesting that the very first paragraph of the purport, that the Lord, He appears to imitate the activities of the living entities as an actor. I used to be one myself before I joined, stuntman and some acting, but you have to do a lot of reversing and a lot of... But, you have to portray whatever the protagonist, the director tells you to do. You have to... And you have to be someone else that you're not. You have to imitate someone else. That's what it means to be an actor. Play the part, a good part, a bad part, So Krishna, he appears to imitate, but it's very boring for him. He's got nothing to do. Prabhupada says, he imitates the activities, the boring activities of the living entities. Because his activities, they are extraordinary. He can eat with his hands, he can look with his feet, he can speak, through a burning bush, he can actually come as a fish, he can come as a lion, as a pig, if you want. He can come as a tortoise. He can play the part of a coward rancher. He sees the enemy and he can defeat them just by them chasing him, and he leads them into the cave of death. Muchukunda, he told that Krishna was a coward. Krishna was running away and appeared to be afraid. But actually it was a pastime for him. Afraid. Lord is never afraid of anyone. How can a father be afraid of his children? Sometimes, the father, he plays hide and seek, isn't it, with his children. And he appears to, the child, he bounces on the father and he tries to beat him up, and the father goes down, and that's Krishna. He does that. Sometimes he appears to, when he has a fight with the demons, he allows them, to give him a blow, just like when he came on his very first incarnations, speaking about incarnations. He came as a boar, as a hog, and he was holding, don't ask me how he was holding a club with his hooves. What do you say in English? Hooves? Stubbed. No, the hands, the hooves. The feet and the hands of the pig or the boar. Hooves. And he was holding the club. But Hiranyaksha was swearing at him. And the Lord, he felt some pain. He's calling me a pig. He's calling me dirty animal. So he felt offended. And that's the feeling, sometimes. The father, he gets some insult from his son, and he feels offended. He feels the pain, because of the misconception of his son. But then Saraswati, she dovetailed those verbal insult of Hiranyaksha into Vedic hymns. And then the Lord took them as prayers, elegy. And the blow on his chest, Hiranyaksha, threw the blow on his chest. And the Lord, he felt some pain, but actually it was like garlands. When someone throws garlands on your chest, Prabhupada explained, that everything was dovetailed in a spiritual, beautiful way, because nobody can hurt the Lord. Nobody can offend God. Everything, it's impossible. Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki Jai. The real offense, because Hiranyaksha was angry, but he saw the Lord as a person, then Prabhupada in the purport said that it was good. Was good, why? Because at least, the Lord, he felt that someone is paying attention to me. Compared to not like the impersonalist, they completely negate, avoid the existence of God. And that is the worst pain that we can give to Krishna. Mayavadi impersonalism. Actually, Prabhupada, he did not come to the West. This is one of my own understanding, a realization. Correct me if I am wrong. Not to mainly purify us from sinful activity and offenses, because these activities, they're from ignorance, but actually from the real pain, that we can give to God and to the world, which is shunyavadi, the voidism and impersonalism. He came to liberate all of us from this mentality, because that is more dangerous than generating sinful activities. You can get atonement for sinful activities, just like at the end of the purport, just by chanting Hare Krishna sincerely at the time of death. Did I read that? Oh, it's my imagination. I think it was that. It was, isn't it? In the purport at the end. Very interesting. That and the remembrance of such activities of the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is as powerful as the Lord Himself, just by remembering Him. Shravanam. What to speak, Kirtanam. Ajamil remembered the holy name of the Lord, Narayan, by merely calling the name of his son, Narayan. And that gave him a complete opportunity to achieve the highest perfection of life. It's at the end of the translation, I think, also. Yes. One who invokes his transcendental names even unconsciously, like Ajamil did, at the time he quits this life, he certainly washed immediately of the sins of many, many births and obtains him without fail. Now, it doesn't mean that, they go back home, back to Godhead. What is the verse? 1857, Chittas Bhatyamam abhijanati yavanyachasmi tattvata tatomam tattvatonyatva vishati tadanantaram. This word vishati is very luxurious word. It doesn't mean that by chanting sincerely the name of Krishna we achieve the access into the kingdom of God, but we achieve God. That means maybe in this life or in the next life. Just like Ajamil, at the time of his death, he had a second chance. The Yamaduta, they had to release the soul. They backed off from the order of the Vishnuduta, and they released the soul back into the body of Ajamil. And then he didn't, just by chanting the name of Narayan, he didn't go back home, back to Godhead. This Vishati, to achieve a Vishati means entering the kingdom of God. It's the ultimate goal of life. Param Gati. Narayanam Param Yogo, Narayanam Param Jnanam. The goal of knowledge is Narayan, the goal of yoga is Narayan, Narayanam Param Tapa. The goal of austerity is to achieve Narayan. And the last one, Narayanam Param Gati. Gati is also Vishati, they're synonymous. That the goal the goal of worshipping Narayana is Paramgati, is the spiritual world. Ajamil, when he chanted the names of Narayan, he achieved the Lord's mercy. That's what it means. It says here, after many, many births, and obtains him without fail. you attain the Lord in your life without fail, but doesn't mean you attain the kingdom of God. That means sometimes we think, oh, by chanting Hare Krishna at the time of death, it's guaranteed I go back home, back to Godhead. That's something we have to understand. Maybe, maybe not. It's up to Krishna. If we are prepared, we do go. But if we have unfinished business, we achieve the Lord in our life for the next life, until we clear up all the rest of the sinful activities, just like Ajamil did. He came back from his coma, from his nightmare, and then he went to where did he go? Prayag? Hardwar, yes. And he concluded all his unfinished business by worshipping the Lord, worshipping the Ganges. And then, when all his sins, they were eradicated, he went back home, back to Godhead. It's interesting, the holy name, but we are more interested to achieve the Lord in our lives than the house of the Lord, isn't it? Even I don't mind myself. I'm a book distributor. And I'm not really, I can say boldly in the microphone for all those who are hearing online, devotees say, no, we have to go back home, back to Godhead. We have to be eager, we have to be... I used to be like that, but not anymore. Doesn't matter anymore to me. If I can carry on my service, distributing books, serving the Lord in my next life, because if I can achieve the Lord in my life, in my future, the company of the Lord, then I'm a happy man. Sometimes we go so anxious to go back home, back to Godhead. We go there, but then what? The chant, the dance, take prasad. But there's a lot to do here. That's why Lord Chaitanya is very much happy for those who stay back. Srila Prabhupada, we don't know. Why did he come to earth? He came, pure devotee of the Lord, because there is business to do. Lord Chaitanya, God himself, he renounces his title. He doesn't like to be seen as a God. Sometimes there is something, in his loving exchange between Radha and Krishna and all the devotees, the spiritual. There is no preaching there going on. But there is something missing, the crown jewel of this rasa, bhakti rasa, love between Krishna and his devotee, exchange of love. Yeah, that's nice, that's beautiful, very poetic, very nice. But there is something that bugs the Lord, that crown jewel of love, which is compassion. And that's how Lord Chaitanya. Then he comes out of the heart of Radha and Krishna, and he comes as Mahaprabhu with all his associates, to come as an act of compassion to bring that love down here. And we can have it here. You can be, it's just like, the mom and daddy, they're having a party with all the friends, with all their kids, but there is one or two kids missing. So it's a beautiful party, very nice. They drink, they eat, they're warm. There is a storm outside the house, in the middle of the winter, but they know there's two kids missing. And some of the older kids, they said, Mommy, Daddy, don't worry, you enjoy the party, but I'll go and search for them. How dear they become to the mom, and daddy. The older sons, they go out into the cold to bring back their lost children. The prodigal son, that's the story of the prodigal son. So, Tamal Krishna Maharaji was citing this story. He saw this movie. This family, they were fighting enemies, and they were in the house. There were so many kids, and some of them, they didn't know if they were hurt, they were killed, or they were injured. And some of the older son, they went out without even the blessings of the mom and daddy. And they brought back, the younger brother, the younger brothers. And the father was very, very pleased. The father and the mother. Why? So Tamal Krishna Maharaj saw this movie on the plane, black and white movie. And then he cited the story here on the Bhagavatam. And I'm citing the same story. He said that's what the Lord Krishna does, with Radharani. He's having beautiful party. They're happy in the spiritual world, but sometimes, his pure devotees, they come down and they come into the storm, to bring all of us back. That's why he says in the Gita, that no one is more dear to me than such a soul who preaches this message to my devotees. He didn't say, Krishna doesn't use the word, no one is dear to me more than those who preach this message to the karmi. Does he say that? Does he say to the demons? No, he doesn't use the words of demon. He doesn't say materialistic people. No, he says to my devotee. Because at the end of the day, everyone outside there is devotee of Krishna. But they were forgotten. So, with that understanding, we practice spiritual life. We join the movement, we take prasad, we evolve ourselves spiritually, we read the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, we feel inspired, we feel happy. Association of devotees there, Vaishnava Seva, we serve each other. But then what? That crown jewel of the Jivadoya. The Jivadoya, if he's not there, then our spiritual life is not complete. Jivadoya means mercy to the innocent. Otherwise then we remain, I always says that, we remain Sunday feast devotee. Sunday feast devotees, those come to the temple, enjoy the prasad. But that's fine. I don't want to say anything. It's not a critical statement. It's good to remain a Sunday feast devotee. That's fine. You can go back home, back to Godhead, just by taking prasad, chant Hare Krishna, following the 4 regularity principles. That's fine. Nobody will judge you. Nobody should judge you. Actually, I shouldn't really say. Those devotees are special. If they can save themselves, at least they're working on themselves. They don't go out distributing books, they don't go out preaching, but they're giving the book to themselves. They're preaching to themselves. So they're saving themselves. They're doing some favor to themselves. That's good. That's what the Guru wants to see. But there's always someone who stretches their intelligence, say, no, let me go out and do a little bit of Harinam, a little bit of book distribution, a little bit of prasad distribution. Because those are the activities that are very much pleasing to Krishna. When we come out of the comfort zone, which is the temple, the house, whatever comfort zone is, and you go out and tell someone something about Krishna. I was going to the bank. I was looking after my wife last week. I couldn't go out much on books. She hasn't been well. But I went to the bank, It was boring business. And then the lady, Muslim lady, She was, she saw some transaction because I give some charity, food for all, regularly, and said, "Oh, you take care." I also occasionally feed the homeless, and do things. A very nice religious lady. And then we clicked up, in preaching. And I said, "I understand you are from Islamic background, but all the religions, they're like many rivers. They all go in one ocean. You call the same God Allah, the powerful one. I also believe in Allah, the most powerful one. Krishna, the most beautiful one. The Buddha, the most intelligent one. God is got names according to his qualities, but he's the same God." Anyway, so she got intrigued, and I gave her a book, a little book. I had some books in the bag. And she said, "You know what, I'm going to read it with an open heart." It was nice, to tell someone something about Krishna, even though people, they are indoctrinated in their culture, in their religion, background. They created this fortress around themselves because the parents, that's the way they brought them up. Even the Hindus, believe it or not, some of them, they don't want to know anything about the Hare Krishna or Bhagavatam, because I'm already Hindu. I love Krishna, but they don't know very much about Mahaprabhu. You ask them who is Srimad Mahaprabhu or Gaunitai or Srila Prabhupada, and it's because of the labyrinth, they're lost in their culture, in their belief. Sometimes we have to break through. That's why Sarvadharma Parityaja Mamekam Saranam Vraja. Break out of all these religions, the Lord says. Hinduism, Catholicism, Islamic, Christianity. Sarvadharma means, give up all these variety of religion and try to understand me, surrender to me. Then you will become free from all your sins. Because the real religion is to love God and develop, and to love God we have to try to develop a love for all the conditioned souls. And in this way we guarantee ourselves the attainment of Krishna. And whether or not we go back home, back to Godhead, that it's a decision made by the Lord. It's up to Him, not up to us. But once you hear and remember the names of Krishna, you are safe. You are there is no more fear. At the time of death, you will be protected. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Maybe one or two questions? Sorry, I couldn't see. Yes, we went 3 minutes over. There is one question over there.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Wonderful class. I just wanted to ask why do you say that Krishna, I think it's boring when he comes, to do his leelas here on earth. You said he was bored.
Oh yeah. No. It's I have to paraphrase. It's bored, to be like an actor. That's what Prabhupada says. He's not interested to imitate. It's boring for him to imitate, the activities of because we do things by hand. He likes more extraordinary things. Like Prabhupada says in the purport, that he can lift millions of Govardhan hills simply by his desire. That's more extraordinary. He can eat with his eyes like he does every day. So that's not boring for him. It's something that we cannot, it's extraordinary. that no mortal living entity they can do. He said, it's in the purport that he's not interested, isn't it, Prabhupada? Or did I, what does he say? Yeah, he's just like an actor on stage. An actor imitates the activities of a king on stage, although actually he is not the king. Similarly, when the Lord incarnates, he imitates parts with which he has nothing to do. He has nothing to do with it, and it's something that he does it out of duty, to play the part of a king or to play the part of Kshatriya, the fighter, to play the part of the son of Mother Jashoda and Nanda Maharaj. But of course, later on in the purpose, said, he offered partiality into the pastimes of his devotee. He does it out of love. So there are so many purposes why he comes down, for his lila, for purifying us, for for his own pastimes, So we have to qualify that statement. Boring in the sense that he has to imitate the activity, the conventional activity that everybody does: sleeping, eating, mating, defending. These are the perpetual activities which are in the praja, in the 8,400,000 species of life, and even the animals, they do that. So the Lord, he comes, and it appears to be, but it's not extraordinary for him, to do that. So, but, he imitates, he tried to put the finger underneath Govardhan Hill, but actually he can lift it with his desire. It's not that he's feeling the weight of the hill on his finger. So for him, it's not extraordinary. That's it's boring in that sense. It was boring for him because, he was more, he was looking at the gopis, and then sometimes, the hill will shake, and everyone was feeling, oh my God, it's uncomfortable. So the activities which are not boring for the Lord, it's the exchange between him and his devotees. When it comes to love, and in our rasa with the Lord, or when he listens to our prayers, it's not boring. Just like now, he's listening to the prayers of Lord Brahma, and he empowers him. He likes that. He loves that. When we pay attention, what is praying to the Lord? It means paying attention. Just like sometimes, I feel weak, drained, I'm diabetic, and I don't have any energy, but I won't distribute a few books. I go out just for 2-3 hours, and I said, my dear Lord, okay, that's my situation. I'm paying attention to you. I talk to him. I'm on my own, and for me that is like a prayer. A prayer doesn't mean, oh, wonderful Lord, your lotus feet, are fragrant like a lotus flower. I don't know how to pray like Lord Brahma. But just by talking to the Lord, he likes that. He likes it because we're paying attention to him. That is a prayer. And he will listen. That is not boring. Just like, the father is looking on the screen. The son is lost, and somehow or another he can see what he's doing. And the son, in the middle of his lost environment, he's talking. He says, where are you, Father? Guide me, please guide me. And the father, he pays attention, And he tries his best, to give some direction, some signs, or send someone, to, he gives his what do you call it, positive energy to empower the child, to do the right thing and to come back to him. That is not boring. All right. Thank you very much. Is that okay? Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Johnny.